The next section is entitled Relationship Usages. If there was a difference between falling in love and falling into love, then this would be objectification. Making another addicted to one's own objectification may be used to obtain something they want. One may objectify themselves for another such that they let them do whatever they want. It creates competitive environments where only the most mentally, socially, subjectively aware, and physically fit survive, which may appear to benefit the object-subject selection process. Tolerance of objectification may be promoted as a psychological challenge to demonstrate one's social, subjective, and physical worth, e.g., old-fashioned. It removes a fair amount of competition. It creates an artificial construct where tolerance is seen as a sign of physical and mental strength, tolerators being seen as a dominant and attractive subset of the community and best left undisturbed, as opposed to a sign of weaknesses, conformity. It may form as a result of a number of false beliefs. Based on the belief that some people want relationships irrespective of anything else, others may feel obliged to help others find what they think they want by any means necessary. Based upon the belief that some people want objects irrespective of anything else, others may feel it necessary to objectify oneself. One may think that others want to look at attractive people of their sex for its own sake, and so may involve themselves in apparent self-objectification to give others what they want. Human desire for objectification, and therefore its tolerance, may be justified by a basic analysis of consumption and marketing statistics. People may feel required to objectify themselves in order to fulfill natural desires, such as the production of children with a partner who accepts objectification. Based upon the belief, some people want subjects irrespective of anything else. Others may feel it is helping by objectifying them oneself. It may be used to attract people into social interaction. When one knows an objectified person, they know that they are not an object, and that their apparent self-objectification is imaginary. It encourages people to get to know other people, engage in relationships with the objectified, to maintain a stable view of reality. Based upon the belief some people want objects and subjects irrespective of anything else, others may feel it necessary to objectify oneself. Based upon an observed high probability that someone of the opposite sex will respond to objectification manipulation, one is led to believe that it is a deterministic process without alternative outcomes, and therefore makes one feel like they have to manipulate others in order to be responded to. As apparent self-objectification presents the appearance of a caring and attentive subject, it may be used to attract people on a subjective basis, as well as a physical basis. It is the natural, strong method of acting on our base desire to be desired. It provides the objectified with a level of popularity that may not be obtainable otherwise, thereby increasing the number of candidates for them to choose from. It is the natural, strong method of compensating for and even overruling those physical deficiencies or byproducts which detract from desire, where these have more generally been overcome by the wearing of clothes in human society. Objectification may be achieved by the manipulation of clothing, where a contradiction is presented as something is used against its original purpose. Apparent self-objectification may involve the modification of traditional clothing, e.g. shortening or tightening. Apparent self-objectification may involve the exposition of sensitive areas of the body. Modesty is not only the lack of intent to objectify oneself, it is one's intent not to allow oneself to be objectified, or correspondingly, one's intent to subjectify oneself. Modesty is in general demonstrated by one's life and how one expresses themselves, including their immediate purpose or intention, where choice of clothing is just one component of this. Humans can easily detect modesty, and therefore the lack of, regardless of the presence of one's clothing. It may involve the forming of relationships with significant age or language differences, preventing not only the capacity for communication between the couple, in confirmation of subjective significance, but parenthood for a prospective child. Giving oneself as an object is not the same as giving oneself as a subject. A person's self-objectification prevents people from falling into lasting love with them. A person's parent self-objectification prevents people from falling into lasting love with them. A person's apparent self-objectification prevents people from falling into love with them. It may therefore be an act of grace or friendship. It allows people to have fun with, enjoy the experience of a mutual acceptance of the physical and subjective nature of each other, e.g. kiss, without feeling guilty for not mortally committing oneself. An apparent self-objectification, as it may result in the subconscious feeling of an uncaring or inattentive subject, non-subject, it may therefore be used to decrease their attraction as a subject, thereby increasing the challenge for and quality of a potential partner, for the purposes of finding someone truly worthy of them, and truly understanding of them, and the disrespectful environment they have to live in. Apparent self-objectification may be employed by some with the intention of preventing their workout effort to make them look attractive for their partner, subjective significance, from going to waste. This is particularly the case for the sex with the greatest age limitations on their fertility, physical attractiveness as a partner. Apparent self-objectification may be employed by some with the intention of preventing their time-limited physical attraction as a partner from going to waste. This is particularly the case for the sex with the greatest age limitations on their fertility, physical attractiveness as a partner. Apparent self-objectification may be employed when one wants attention at a particular point in time. Apparent self-objectification may be used to make another feel like they have to do something, seek them, be attentive. One may objectify another if they think that the other needs to act based upon the assumption that they deserve respect, based upon their physical nature, e.g., when they both like each other and it is wanted for the other to act based upon their desire, or when the other is physically less attractive and therefore needs to show them respect. Many who are objectified think they are just demonstrating their physical fitness without realizing what has been done to them, or if they do not understand the processes behind objectification and feel right to blame any instance of it on the one who misinterprets their intention. Objectification may be employed to show off one's physical fitness for oneself or one's partner, thereby gaining status. Apparent self-objectification may be employed to make others feel like their partner or loved ones have an attractive object, thereby increasing their status and one's own worth. One who objectifies another will become paranoid about their motives for expression, ability for neutrality, subjective significance. Tolerance of objectification may be used to justify one's desire to objectify oneself. Apparent self-objectification may be used by people to make the point that they don't want to be confined to bearing children or are happy the way they are, by expression of happiness in the way they look. The effect apparent self-objectification has on others, creation of desire for objectification, may be used to justify one's own involvement in objectification. The effect apparent self-objectification has on others can make sure that they are needed, regardless of their value as a subject. Apparent self-objectification may form as a result of a need to be needed or appreciated, and it therefore appears to give our lives meaning. An encouragement to objectify can never make someone need or appreciate them in any lasting manner. Objectification, or an encouragement to accept one's own objectification, may form as a result of a need to be respected, and it therefore appears to give one's life meaning. An encouragement to self-objectify, however, can never make someone respect them in any lasting manner. One's apparent self-objectification can make people lose self-confidence and trust in their own desires, and therefore not able to engage in a relationship with someone else, and so may be used as a form of empowerment. Objectification is not the demonstration of dominance or appreciation, affection, desire of or for another's beauty, e.g. touch. Rather, it may involve this without respect to their subjective significance, e.g. the manipulation of touch, touch without commitment, touch of another's body without regard for their face, subjective significance, etc. Objectification is not a method of communicating that one wants to have sexual relations, but it may emulate the communication of a desire to have sexual relations, as the symptoms are the same, touch and presentation, but without respect to their own and one's own subjective significance. When we demonstrate our capacity to be an object through apparent self-objectification, or our capacity to objectify through sport, fighting, etc., it fulfills our base physical requirements. When we demonstrate our capacity to be an object through apparent self-objectification, or our capacity to objectify through sport and fighting, to more than one person, it helps us to appreciate and understand the subjective nature of reality through our own involvement in it. I.e., even though we have the capacity to do or be otherwise, it is not right to have multiple partners, and we choose as such. In the same way males should not go around fighting for and touching arbitrary females, females should not go around presenting themselves to arbitrary males. It is empowering to fight for and touch a female. Encouragement of objectification in the media is equivalent to the encouragement to be touched by a large collection of arbitrary yet attractive persons. The level of objectification in the media is at present equivalent to having fields of virtual reality simulations involving arbitrary persons touching the user and pretending to make them their object. It leads to sexually discriminate socially acceptable constructs, e.g. objectification in the media and apparent self-objectification, demonstration of one's capacity to be an object, whereas fighting is disaimed, demonstration of one's capacity to objectify.